I started making music basically when I was born. Like my whole life has been surrounded by music. I come from like a musical family. My dad was the type of guy who could pick up any instrument. It could be like a sax to a guitar to anything, a weird nose flute or something, and like within 20 minutes he could play like a song on it. He just had that. And so I kind of got that from him, and all growing up, like all of my childhood parties, like, you know, like when family come over for parties, we never had a radio on or stereo or a DJ or anything. It was always us providing the music for us. So I was always either singing or, you know, playing a tambourine or something. My dad was playing the guitar, you know, his friends would come over. And so I pretty much have been like singing and playing music for as long as I can remember. So my dad, definitely when I started doing music, it was all about, you know, kind of the backyard party situation I was telling you. My dad is definitely my number one inspiration. He was a great dude. He was real talented, you know, and he kind of gave me all of that musical kind of entertainment side to myself. So I would say he's like definitely my number one influence. And then, you know, musically, you know, me growing up, I grew up with hip hop. So I started coming into my own with my own music being hip hop, like with Souls of Mischief, Tribe Called Quest, Gangstar, Pete Rock and CL Smooth. All of those guys are like really like my foundation, like where I really, you know, as a kid, just listening De La Soul, even Big Daddy Kane, you know, some of that stuff, I just loved it. And so even though I was doing all this music like with my dad, we're singing the blues and oldies and stuff, but like I found my music, which is kind of our music, our generation, in hip hop, and kind of took it from there. So yeah. Oh man, LA Symphony came together in 1998, bro. We were like kids, man. You know, I was like barely out of school, man. Just like, we all started meeting. We were all different like solo artists or groups that were just kind of doing shows wherever we can get shows and kind of stumbling onto each other. I had heard about this dude, Pigeon John, who was rapping at like the Good Life, Project Blowed, all of this. So I went there to meet him. And actually the first time I met him, he blew me off for a year, punk. Then, you know, like we ended up becoming friends, hanging out, and then I found out, hey, you know, he hangs out with all these other dudes who do music, and we all kind of had like similar vision of what we wanted to do. Like, man, I kind of want to do the same thing you guys want to do or whatever. And it just kind of organically, naturally just formed into this crew. And then we quickly decided, let's do an album together, and that's when we put our first album out in 1999. Like at the very end of 99 was composition number 1, and got the deal and kind of went from there. So. My iPod is really eclectic. I listen to a lot of Beatles. I listen to a lot of like stuff like the Black Keys, Broken Bell. Right now I've been on like a whole other kick. Like I can tell you hip hop is like 98% of my stuff, but right now I've been like on a whole other thing. So I've been listening to a lot of like alternative and rock and classic rock. But also I'm listening to like that Ab Soul right now. I love that record. That new Merce Fashawn is really dope. So I mean, I'm all up on all the new hip hop. I get a lot of even like mixtapes and stuff that's not so like underground or indie. I like a lot of stuff. I like to just digest it all. Even if I just listen to it once or twice, it just helps me to kind of know what people are listening to and help interpret that into my music in, you know, in my way. Good question. I think touring is extremely important. It's not the most important thing anymore, and it's not even, it still helps to break artists, but I don't think it's a make or break situation anymore because of the internet, because of like videos and kind of everything that people are doing on YouTube. But it's still kind of the last like pure thing that an artist can do, because you can download the music, you can see the videos, you can do all that, but you cannot download that experience. Like you can see a live performance like on YouTube, but you don't feel the room by watching it that way. There's only one way to do that, and that's going to a show. So doing shows, doing tours is still like the purest form of taking yourself, and not just your music, but yourself, and taking it to the people. And I find that for me especially, like, people may like my music, but when I hit the road and they see my show and they kind of get to know me, I feel like I make fans better that way than I do just like with a video or with hearing like an MP3 online or something like that. They connect with me more, and I'm able to really grab them that way. So I think it's extremely important to do live shows and tour and, you know, keep yourself out there. I'd say, to be totally honest, one of the greatest tour memories I have is going with LA Symphony to South Korea. The reason why is because we went there as like to them, an unknown hip hop group. But the way they embrace hip hop music, the whole reason why we even went there was these two rock bands have been kind of like going over there touring, and they quickly saw that how much they want hip hop there. So they're like, hey, let's take a hip hop group to open up for us, and our shows will be better or whatever. So one of the dudes who was a drummer was like friends of ours. He's like, yo, you gotta take LA Symphony. So this great opportunity comes. We make great money, all expenses paid. It was like amazing, right? We get there, and it was like the Beatles landed, or like freaking NSYNC just showed up. Like they were like, like even the dudes were like in your face, like, oh my god, like, and they don't know me, they don't know CookBook. They just because we're from America and we came there to do hip hop for them, it was crazy. Like I always, you always see like when all these fans rush like a superstar and like, oh my God, Bieber or whatever. And they got their guards or whatever. Like I didn't know what that was like until that moment when like 1,000 people rushed me after. And I'm not even kidding. It was like all of us were walking and all of a sudden there was just like the sea of people. I remember literally kind of making myself a little taller and like looking around like, is there security or something? Because I kind of feel a little uncomfortable right now. So that was kind of crazy, but it was a good feeling, man. And I think that was like, it always sticks out of my head as like just a really crazy moment of being out on the road, Man, what have I seen? Like from what the crowd is doing? Man, I don't know. I've seen some like... I almost don't even want to say some of the stuff I've seen. I mean, use your imagination, man. I've seen some pretty typical things happen, but like I've seen some atypical sexual acts happen where I'm like, dude, is that really happening right? Like everyone can see you guys. I hope you know that. Like, and you guys are really doing that right now? Like right in the club? Really? I've seen that and I've been like, whoa. I mean, that's even like, wow. Well, hey man, I'm CookBook. If you want to check me out, you can hit me on Twitter at CookBookThePR. You can check out my videos on YouTube /CookBookThePR, or you can just go to one place and get all of that information, musicbycookbook.com. Again, that's musicbycookbook.com. What's up, guys? This is CookBook, and you are watching RFAtv. Boom.